Hello and welcome to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
And there's Britt Chapin. Welcome back, man.
Thanks for joining us on La La Land. This is the only nationally broadcast show by Los Angeles artists about Los Angeles artists on episode 107, I think.
Well, yes. Regardless, we get applause.
107, 108, something like that. This was so crazy not being here last week.
Really? Were you even able to relax, or did you just...
No, I sat and watched the show.
Of course you did.
Yeah, but I did relax. I did it from a
good.
prone position, so that was okay.
There you go.
Yeah. It's nice to be back, though.
Awesome. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, you did a really good job.
Well, thank you. Many thanks to the fabulous guests that we had: Christopher McNeely, Ariella Fiore,
Yes.
Candace Courtney, Bradford Ackerman, Kana Koinuma, Darcy Silvera, and Peter Miller.
That was like the most guests I've ever seen at this table.
I know. I know. I'm like, everybody just squeeze in.
Yeah.
Just squeeze in. I think they were actually sharing headphones like this at one point, just to know like what was going on.
That's great. Yeah, it was really fun, and you guys got into some really good conversation, like good theater conversation.
We
stuff.
did.
It was great.
That's what I like about this show and about the guests that we have is yes, we start off with the, talking about what you're up to, but I also love learning about everybody's journey, about how the heck we got to where we are, and sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with where we started.
Yeah. Christopher McNeely had a good story.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. So I think and you can check him out either on Facebook or ChristopherMcNeely.com. He's got some great seminars coming up.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
We got some good guests coming up, too.
We sure do.
We have some good guests today, but let's talk about some of the ones that we have in the future.
Okay.
Too. You want?
Yeah.
All right.
You've got the list. I don't know who's coming.
What day is today? Next week, we have Pepper J from Actors Reporter and Actors Entertainment and 6 Degrees of Separation. She's actually working on a show on, I believe it's the 15th, with our guest today, Britt, Prentice.
Nice.
Yeah,
April 15th?
That's me. Somebody say my name?
Yeah.
That's you.
Is that May 15th or April 15th?
April 15th, this coming Monday.
Wow.
Right around the corner. Yeah. Yeah, it's called Meanwhile at the Café du Monde ... with Peggy Sweeney, who's written this wonderful book about food stories, and Pepper's going to share a story. I'm going to share a food story, of something really fun through the years, and great show, great food. We're at Tom Bergen's Tavern right there in L.A.
Nice.
Yeah, on
Can't wait.
Fairfax?
Yeah. So
Great.
please come one, come all, have a great time. And they always make a bunch of free pastries and foods that Peggy and other people make and bring it. And so you'll eat some great food and have a great time.
You
You'll tell us more about that later, too.
Yeah. I have free pastries. I'm like, sign me up. Thanks.
It's free pastries.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the girls from Guides, the web series, coming to join us just fresh off of their LA web series premiere that they had at the LA Web Series Festival.
Okay.
That's what it's called. They were on here for our very first show here at LA Talk Live, and they're going to come back and join us.
Oh, nice. Can't wait to meet them.
Yes. I might also have worked on their show.
Maybe.
I maybe played a talk show host.
You may have.
I don't know.
It's a
Possible.
possibility.
Not sure.
Yes.
Maybe.
We might premiere. I've never seen it, but we might premiere my little scene here on LA Talk Live. That would be fun. I'm going to see if I can get them to do that.
That would be super exciting.
And then, are you completely exhausted from last? What did you do last night, Dorothy?
What did I do last
What
night?
you did. I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet.
Oh,
It's
that's
5
okay.
minutes into the show.
It's all good. Last night we opened the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee at Theater Palisades. It was so exciting.
Woo-hoo!
We had a great
Clap,
yes,
clap,
thank
clap,
you.
clap.
Oh man, let me tell you, there is a lot of energy required to play an 11-year-old, and when you're a cast and you've been rehearsing, you're performing for each other for so long, and you get to that point. And I had this moment last night before I walked down for the entrance, and I thought, oh my God, what if we're not as funny as we think we are? This is going to go down like a blaze of glory, But it turns out we were actually funnier than I thought. I mean, there are all these great moments within the play, and it's definitely a comedy. There's wonderful musical comedy parts of the show, but there are very, very wonderful heartfelt moments as well. And so that's something that I think if some people don't like to come and see like laugh, 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 laugh. Well, don't worry, you will see a whole range of emotion and some beautiful voices. I'm just the handicapped harmony girl, but there are some awesome voices that are not to be missed. So we run through May 12th. You can find us, call the box office at 310-454-1970 or buy tickets online at theaterpalisades.com, and there may be a few cheapy ones at Gold Star as well. So come and see. I made my own. Yes, hand me that because you're not on camera, sweetie. I made my own costume, and so it's truly fun stuff. So yay!
You guys rocked last night. It was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you. I am exhausted, but in the best way. Like there's an exhaustion of things that you don't love when you're exhausted from doing work that you don't enjoy, and there's exhaustion from work that you do enjoy. And I don't know. I feel bad for those who have never had the joy exhaustion before.
I'm exhausted, and I've only been there the last 2 days.
It's a physical show. We're definitely. I'm really glad I get to wear sneakers. If I had to wear character shoes, I would have been gone by now. So my knees would have been shot.
And you get to wear a cape too. That's pretty cool.
I do. If you want to see a picture of the cape, you can follow me on Twitter at Dorothy D Blue, and there is a photo on my Twitter.
If you want to see a picture of Dorothy when she was about 12, 13, you can
9. I think it was 9. Yeah.
Okay. You can look on our Twitter page and our at La La Land Talk.
Yeah.
And you can find that.
It's epic.
Good stuff.
Yes.
You look the same.
I do, in a way.
I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I chose that picture because it does very much look like how I've styled my character Leaf Coney Bear for the show. Their styling is similar if you kind of check it out. So
good stuff.
You'll see. Yeah.
Ask me about rent.
Please. Oh, Britt Chapin. What is up with rent?
Okay, well, this is an ongoing story because actually I came in here 2 weeks ago and
I'm like, hey, how's rent going? It was, well.
Oh, by the way, it's got postponed 5 days before opening. It's okay. So it got postponed. We got moved back to May 31st, June 1st, and June 2nd. We went in and met our new director.
Great.
Last weekend.
Wonderful.
Really nice guy named Michael Shepard. He is the co-artistic director of the Celebration Theater, and he was one of the producers on The Color Purple that just won all the awards for theater in Los Angeles.
And that theater started out doing just like the tiniest stuff, and I tell you, they committed to...
It blew up, right?
They committed to really edgy and forward-thinking theater, and I think that the community has really embraced it, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and the themes that they embrace are becoming more and more universal as society is more aware of the plights of...
And on Monday, they were the LA Weekly Theater Awards. I think they got like 5 or 6 awards.
They were raking it in. It's true.
And not that awards are necessarily mean that you're great, but it sure is nice to have recognition.
It is.
And I think it's worthy because of that reason. But yeah, we met Michael Shepard. We're going to be working with him. We open May 31st, and I can't wait.
Yay!
Incredible talent in this show. So go to therentproject.com.
Excellent.
Information on that. Theater Minute.
Yes.
We've talked about Spelling Bee. We've talked about Rent. Billy Ray.
Billy and Ray. That is still ongoing at the Falcon Theater. One of its stars is Allie Spuck McNeely, who is the spouse of Christopher McNeely, and it was co-directed by Gary Marshall, who is, well, gee, if you don't know who Gary Marshall is, then I can't really help you out there. Laverne and Shirley, there, and so, and it's sort of about the beginning of film noir and how they conquered the standards of film at the time and got it going. So yeah, Raymond Chandler. The Ray is Raymond Chandler and Billy Wilder. Thank you. Gee.
Nothing But Hutton.
Oh, Nothing But Hutton, which my husband and I are planning to go see. I'm very excited about the story of Betty Hutton. So I don't want to give away because it's a very fascinating story. But if you've seen any big musical from the classic era, then you've seen Betty Hutton. I think I can't. No wait. Annie Get Your Gun. I think is the one that people probably recognize her the most is from Annie Get Your Gun.
And yeah, I'm going to see that too on the 27th. I already got my ticket.
Awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
We have American Misfit playing at Boston Court. Go to bostoncourt.com for information on that. We have Title of Show at Ophelia's Jump out there in the Claremont area. We have On the Spectrum at the Fountain Theater. Fantastic show that Jeannie Hackett, who was in to talk to us, is working on, and it's just really, really great show.
Also, we have a Ragtime at Kentwood with the Kentwood Players, and as well as I think this is the closing weekend for Little Women the musical with Sustaining Sound.
Yes, we also have Slipping at the Lillian Theater, and as always, what I think is one of the best shows that's playing in LA right now, and it's going till the end of May, is Walking the Tightrope at the 24th Street Theater.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Check them out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Little Women is not closing this weekend. It's next weekend. So.
Next weekend.
Yes.
Okay. Good. I have one more week to see it.
There you go.
Are you going to go see it? Have you seen? Oh, that's right.
I have a pickup on Thursday, so I'm not going to be able to see it. So I apologize to the Sustaining Sound peeps. I love the show in general and the company itself. I saw their previous production down in El Segundo.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Good stuff. And that's it as far as I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
If you want to tell us about what's going on, your live show, your music show, your one-person show, your big show, your small show, be sure to email us at lalalandtalk@gmail.com, and in the subject line put Theater Minute, and we will talk about your show online.
I lied. We have 2 more things for the Theater Minute.
You liar. You are such a liar, Britt Chapin.
Swan, Support Women Artists Now Day is an annual international celebration celebrated by women arts in San Francisco. Los Angeles Female Playwrights Initiative will celebrate Swan Day with a reading of My First on March 24th at 5 p.m. at Studio Stage. For information, lafpi.com/events. And the Los Angeles Female Playwrights Initiative hosts quarterly micro-read gatherings at Samuel French Bookshop. The next one is April 13th at 1 p.m. For information, lafpi.com/events.
Great.
Got it. Those are our emailed events.
Nice.
So if you have any information for us about any amazing shows going on in the Los Angeles area right now, email us with Theater Minute in the subject line, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Completely free advertising.
Exactly. That's why we're here, is to contribute to the community.
There's a story that we've been following for a couple years now on the show here on La La Land about, did you see this post?
Yes,
okay.
I saw.
This lady, apparently IMDb revealed her real age for a couple of months, and she sued, and I guess the verdict came in this week, and it was thrown out of court.
Yep.
She did not win her lawsuit.
So they...
What do we think of this?
I and Tish will probably agree with me on this end. It's different for women than it is for men, as far as your perceived age. And there is, I think, an ageism that still exists in this community. I don't know how much of a different her age was posted as opposed to her.
It revealed that she was 40.
As opposed to.
She is 40.
I know, but I mean, what was she saying she was?
Oh, it just wasn't listed.
It just wasn't listed at all.
And IMDb accidentally listed it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, there are people in this in the business who cannot think outside the realm of a label of an age. I mean, I myself, I'll say it on air. I'm 38 years old. But the thing is that if you meet me, then you will know right away that I am not 38 years old. You know, that what is seen as the quote or the definition of an age, I don't really think I fall into that. And also, you know, there's a longstanding tradition of people really not revealing that much about themselves as far as how old they are. And it's not something she's doing there was Riley Weston. Do you remember this whole thing?
No.
The writer for Felicity. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, yes. So this was a gal, I may be pronouncing her name incorrectly, but she, as an actress, was in her 30s, passing herself as much younger, as 18. And she also had started writing. So she got called in and put on staff at Felicity, and they thought she was 18. So they made this whole hullabaloo about how they had an 18-year-old on their writing staff, when in reality she was in her 30s. So that's different in that you're hired for your written opinion as your perspective of an 18-year-old. Although I remember things from when I was 18 that I think I can pass on and have that.
But see, her whole thing was that she thought that she lost jobs because of it. For me, in my opinion, I think that's going a little far. I don't know how many jobs she actually lost solely because of her age. And I think that's why the case was thrown out, is because they said that, it might have been a problem, but she didn't specifically lose jobs because of it. Well, and maybe I'm looking at it from a male's perspective and I don't, I can't relate, but is it really that big a deal?
It is.
Is it?
Especially commercially. You are definitely called in according to category, and I am yet to see on a form or anything that you actually state your actual age. It is always your age range. And you very much age out of a category. And once they consider you aged out of a category, they don't really put you back. There's no rewinding. There's only going forward. That you can't go, except in a show like Spelling Bee, when it's supposed to be adults playing children. But
it's weird because every time I submit for 18 to look younger, I never get called. Go figure. You do age out.
You do age out. That's the thing. And if you look younger than you actually are, then you have to play that. You have to work that. I mean, in many ways, I wish I looked older, because it has taken me up until last year. I wasn't going out for mother roles, which is the bread and butter of commercials. Come on,
Right.
But I didn't quite photograph looking like a mom yet, and now I do, and now I go out 1,000 times more, so there's that double edge there.
Well, what do you guys think? Call in and give us your opinions.
Let us know.
Give us a call at 323-247-7443, 323-247-7443. You can also, it's the only way our guests are going to be able to talk is if they call in.
You got to call, man. Let us know.
You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/lalalandtalk, Twitter at twitter.com/lalalandtalk. You can send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. And we have with us the amazing Tish Hicks and Britt Prentice. And we're going to be back to talk to them in just a moment. If you have any questions for them, give us a call at 323-247-7443. 323-247-7443. Anything else before we take off here?
Nope, just excited to hear everybody.
Hi,
what
Mom.
they're up to. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. We'll be back on La La Land on LA Talk Live. Welcome back to La La Land on LA Talk Live. That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
And we're back with Brett Chapin as well.
Dorothy Dillingham Blue, the boxer. I'm going to box. I'm going to box. I'm going to box.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, and we are talking with Britt Prentice and Tish Hicks.
Yes.
Who wants to go first?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Hello, lady.
Hey, Tish Hicks.
Hi.
Tish Hicks is an actress and a voiceover artist.
Yes, and a wonderful teacher as well. And Tish and I met through a workshop through the Northwestern University Entertainment Alliance, the NUEA West. And she had a great title for her workshop, and so I couldn't resist. It was called "You Should Do Voiceover." So, and I've had people say that to me before, and so I thought, hey, I should do her workshop, because some people have said to me, you should do voiceover. So off we go. And what I've really enjoyed with working with Tish is she has a very zen mentality about it. It's very supportive, and I've watched her kind of grow as a coach and a teacher as well. And we're both mamas, working mamas, finding that work-life balance. And yeah, so I just wanted to bring Tish on to talk about, because she has an amazing history with voiceover. I'm always impressed to hear.
And we're going to
everything she's
hear
doing.
some of her voiceover, a sample of her voiceover later on in the show too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. So welcome, Tish.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
No problem. So, Tish, tell me, how did you break into voiceovers? That's pretty. There's a lot of different answers to that when we ask that question of people.
Yeah. How did I break into voiceovers? I moved here from Chicago many years ago now. Well, that would be nearly 2 decades ago. But when I did, I had done a little. Who am I supposed to be looking at?
It doesn't matter.
Either one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either one.
Look at Dorothy. She looks better
I'm
than
just
me.
here. I work on the mic.
Look at the microphone. Oh.
When I moved here from Chicago, I had done just a little bit of voiceover work through people that I know. A creative director said, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I went and I was like, "Oh, yes, I would like to do this." So when I moved here, I knew that was what I wanted to focus on. So I arrived and I was like, that is what I want to do. And I had been working in the box office at Second City, so I knew a lot of that community. So when I arrived here, I was able to talk to people that I knew, like Jane Lynch and all the Second City people that I knew who were out here doing voiceover, and said, "Okay, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
What?" So it was just having that focus and then going and doing it. And for me, sometimes, it all worked out logically, which I don't think a lot of things do here in LA.
No.
That's putting it lightly.
But I took an overview class that was sort of like the thing that I offer now.
Mhm.
You should do voiceover class is a comprehensive overview and a little taste of everything you need to know, and a little opportunity for you to get to know what you have
Mhm.
in it. So I took one of those, and at that I met a woman who ran the booth at ICM. And one of the first, the thing that I've created now out of the You Should Do voiceover is called the VO Dojo, which ties into the Zen and the boxing,
Yes.
which we'll get to in a second.
TheVODojo.com.
TheVODojo.com, yeah. And it actually ties into all of this, because my journey is the journey that I'm able to teach everybody, because I distill everything that happened.
Mhm.
So basically, the first rule of the dojo is know what you want, ask for it. People will give it to you if you allow. So very simple concepts.
Good rules for life.
But
Yeah.
yes, well, and that's basically what starts happening. It's not just about voiceover.
How do you spell the vodojo.com?
THE.
I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I'm
That's
stupid.
okay. Even stupid people can do voiceover. No, that's kind of not true. You have to kind of no. Anyhow, it's TheVoDojo. I'm getting back to. So I knew what I wanted,
Mhm.
and I started asking people.
Mhm.
So I want to know more. So when I met this lady from the booth at ICM, I said, "Well, what would I do to get copy?" And she said, "Well, I have copy at the end of the day. Why don't you come?" So I followed up on that. So it ended up that I kept on studying and taking more classes and meeting the people that I should meet and learning from them, and took about 9 months to be ready to make my demo.
Mhm.
And I had someone do me one of the biggest favors in my life and in my career, in that when I went to this producer to make my demo, we worked together, and she said, "You are 98% ready, and I am not going to make your demo.
Wow.
Because you need to be at least 110% ready to even think about this." So she gave me a referral to someone else, and then I took another good 4 to 6 months to continue honing and working and get up to the at least 110%, and then made a demo that became like a killer demo sample, from the, like here's what it should be, and went back to those people that I had made contact with on the way, and went back to ICM, and they said no, but connected me with
What's ICM for those who don't know?
Oh, ICM is what is that? International Creative
Management,
Mm-hmm.
which is now ICM Partners.
which is now ICM Partners, and now
They're
doesn't.
big.
Yeah, it doesn't actually have a scale voiceover department. Their
Right.
scale voiceover department is now DPN, which was taken from the guy who ran that that department went, and so that's one of the biggest agencies, the voiceover agencies.
Very,
in town
very
nowadays,
hard
yeah.
to get in with ICM normally.
Well, now you have
In
to be a
general.
celebrity. So, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, the solution to everything is become a movie star.
Always.
But, you know,
Always.
the first solution. Like, you know what I
First
should have
step.
done? Yeah, so that was my journey to getting in, the breaking in part. And then once I had an agent, my first agent was Abrams Rubloff Lawrence, which is no longer an agency for voiceover. I started booking work, and I booked everything in my career is kind of going like, dude. I did something, and then something happened. I did something, it got bigger, and I did something, got bigger. So I started booking small campaigns for hospitals in Kansas, and then bigger campaigns for Burger King and Hewlett Packard and Elone, and then really hit it big. I didn't know it at the moment, but I was the voice of Citibank for 7 years on the Live Richly campaign, which
And that's revolutionary because
I think it was one of the first female voices for a major financial institution, and also a pretty unique thing. In terms of it was sort of the mother lode and convergence of things. One of the things I talk about at the VO Dojo is how you always need to be thinking about macro to micro, about how voiceover is an art form that serves commerce, and you always need to be in your awareness of how it fits into the grand scheme of things. So the Citibank campaign was a convergence of a business that was just on the verge of taking over the world, right? I mean, it was the big, like 2001 was the first TV spots that I did. And there's a funny story about the TV spots that I did, because the first ones I did in January of 2001, and the subject matter was imploding buildings and making fun of rescue workers. Like, just because you have the power doesn't mean you need to use it, was the gist. And so then September came along, and I was like, oh God, it's the end of the world. I don't think those ads are going to run anymore.
not anymore.
So those particular ads didn't run, but the campaign was this convergence of a company that was huge and taking off, an agency that created a campaign that was able to sustain for 7 years,
Which is not done that much anymore.
It's not, yeah, it is not.
It's a rarity.
Yeah,
It happens,
it's not
but
the
it's a
norm.
rarity.
Yeah, and then also, being someone who they want to continue working with.
Yes.
As the campaign evolves. So, yeah, and then the really interesting part, which I think is one of the most important things to hear about someone's voiceover journey, and also something I really bring into my teaching, is everything that's possible. Yes, that's 7 years of big 6-figure, yay, it's voiceover, everything that everyone is like, yay, this is what we're doing it for, because I want the money. So as that went up, it also went down. That I had, for the first time in my career, after I had changed agencies and wasn't with a place that I was as fully supported as I had been before. And so I had a kid in between that change of agencies. And when I came back, basically found out that the Citibank campaign wasn't happening anymore. And it was the first time in my career that I was like, no, it just goes, so you do this, and then you do this, and then it just feels like that. And I had to deal with the reality. There's possibility and there's reality.
Right.
I had to deal with the reality of, and that would be not so much money. So basically, the fascinating thing that's happened, and I think what makes the VO Dojo the most powerful place that it is it's born out of my figuring out how to come back and articulate to myself and rebuild my own mojo, what it is that takes you to this level of being in the flow of that work. And not that it's a guarantee.
Right. It's not a
But-
guarantee.
But one of the things that I really distilled it down to is that voiceover is an energetic medium.
Mm-hmm.
It's an exchange of energy.
Yes.
So if you have anything going on that is like, that's energetically not in line, this medium of working from the microphone is going to pick that up.
It's much
somehow.
more intimate than I think people really understand. Or
Yeah.
when they first come and they're like, hey, there's a mic, and then I'm hanging out, and there's the booth, and I'm just like jazzing with myself. But it can get kind of lonely in there. And what's nice when you're working with the dojo and is that you do have feedback. I think we need to hear that.
Yeah.
Because you have to self-direct so many times when if you're submitting from home, as a lot of places have you do these days,
Yeah.
or you're using any of the online services. And so having somewhere where you can go, or a community in which you can either by online or really have these fight clubs, for instance, that you guys do.
Oh, well, the Fight Club is the ultimate thing.
Yes.
Yeah, there's several things going on. Yeah, the Fight Club is a working pro workout that I run. The dojo actually runs the full gamut
Yeah.
of from someone who's just had the spark of like, hey, people tell me all the time I should do voiceover. What do I do? It's really hard to break into. Yes, it is. Here's what I say to people. Breaking into voiceover, you need to be able to get on the highway going 85 miles an hour with people who've been driving the Autobahn for 25 years. Can you do it? Yes. People are breaking into voiceover every day. Can you do it on a scooter? No, you cannot. And you can't expect to. I think what happens with voiceover a lot is people think like, oh, that would be a nice thing to do on the side.
Yeah, you can't just do it on the side. I mean,
That's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It is. It really
Yeah.
requires that you put it on your plate and you put a focus on it. And it does become something that supports and allows you to do other things, to do theater with not worrying that you're getting paid $1, to do to create your own stuff because you're making money and you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about things. And to do it in the thing that Dorothy was saying at the beginning of the show, doing something that applies all your skill sets and you love.
and you
I mean-
love.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, the whole VO dojo thing, and going back to the opening was great because the whole boxing metaphor is true. You know, one of the first things I say also is go watch $1 Million Baby. Because if you think about the progression of what that character in that story does, she comes in and she wants something, she wants it, and she's like, I want to be a fighter. And she comes in and she's like, ugh. She's been working for 3 years and she's like this fighting. And Clint Eastwood's like, yeah, whatever, girl. And then there's a scene where she says, that's what I want. And she says to him, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it with you or without you. And then he takes her on. And then she does all the work. There's
Yeah.
the montage, and she's thinking about it. She's doing her footwork while she's
Waiting tables
she's waiting
or
tables, and then she does all that work, and she discovers what she has, and that it has $1 million potential. Now, the good thing about voiceover is that nobody dies at the end.
yes, no one
Ever.
dies. There's no dying in voiceover.
And are you
But,
saying all you really need is just a cool montage?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think in all
it
life.
is-
I have a
It
tiger.
is that easy.
Right.
It's absolutely that. No.
Let's take a break real quick and listen to Tish Hicks. Let's
Yeah,
listen
let's
to her at,
Yeah, I'm
at work
excited.
here. If I press play here, will it go on? Okay. I'll press play.
Little Big Planet, our family loves it.
It was playing with Hakuna Matata.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Can we take off Hakuna Matata and play this? Because both were playing at the same time.
Well, then you got to turn one off.
Okay. So here we go. Try this one more time.
Just let me know you're ready.
It's going.
Our family loves it. You play it and you just smile. We all play it.
It's not gonna work. Okay. We're gonna fix that, and
You can send them to the website.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you want to hear my voiceover reel, it's tishhicks.com/vo.
Uh-huh.
That's
you can also go to our Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk if you want to hear this voiceover demo. Tish Hicks, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, sure, my pleasure.
Great. And what's your next event coming up?
Several things coming up. I have You Should Do Voiceover Intensive coming up on May 4th and 5th in Los Angeles, June 1st and 2nd in New York, and hopefully in San Francisco later this summer, and Chicago in the fall. I also am. Through the VO Dojo, I produce a series called Speaking of Voiceover. So the next event is coming up on May 9th, and it's a panel discussion about various different genres of voiceover. This one's called Animation from All the Angles, and there's going to be a director, producer, an animator, a writer, a casting director, an agent, and talent, both big time and people who have just broken in.
Great.
To have a lot of this dojo stuff is about getting the whole overview and the whole spectrum of how you can find your way.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Tish.
Wait, I got this. Can we try this one more time?
Do it.
I got this now.
You got it.
He was
Go.
working
Tish-
undercover.
Tish Hicks, ladies and gentlemen.
Little Big Planet, our family loves it. You play it and you just smile. We all play it together. It's just really creative. I mean, where else can you raise a chomper into a vampire fish?
Little Big Planet Game of the Year. Rated everyone. PS3. Now $2.99.
Tish Hicks.
And a gentleman.
Yes. Mr. Gentleman. We don't need a commercial. Let's just transition right over to Britt Prentice. Hey, Britt Prentice.
Hey, how are you, Brett?
Good. Thank you so much.
This is like the second time I've been like in a set or studio, and I had a co-person, on with Brett.
Oh.
And it was
Crazy.
Britt and Brett, and we kept on turning our heads. And finally, I said, "Hey, man, guys, just for this one." It was a commercial I did years ago, and they said, "Hey, you can just call me B Diddly D for the rest of the time." And for some reason, I didn't catch on.
Why?
Yeah, I
Didn't
know.
you,
Why did that not
I know.
catch on?
Yeah, Brett,
Mystery.
call Brett, and then call me B Diddly D. I mean, come on,
You
shoot.
need like an animated series where we're like two mischievous but lovable mice named Britt and Brett.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
they
awesome.
I love me some Swiss
Hey.
cheese.
That's right. Exactly. I love cheese, man.
And besides loving cheese, Britt is also a very accomplished actor and musician and host.
Yes.
He is the host of one of the hosts of the Let's
Do Lunch.
Let's Do Lunch
With
show.
Chef Richard Petty, which was on right before this great program here with I love the theater talk, man. You never talk theater in this town, so it's nice. And they mentioned
Yeah.
the Falcon. I was like, I played the Falcon.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Stuff like that. So it was nice to hear. I did a children's show years ago when I first moved here.
Oh, they do great theater for young audiences
Right.
there.
Oh, yeah, this was
Oh,
great. Yeah.
they do great
Yeah.
stuff.
And you, of course, can be heard at 10 o'clock in the morning before our show
right.
every Saturday
That's right.
on the Let's Do Lunch
Let's
show
Do Lunch.
with
Yeah,
Chef
that's right.
Richard Petty.
That's right. Let's Do Lunch with Chef Richard Petty. He is a master chef who worked with Wolfgang Puck, and we're friends. And he said, "Hey, man, I'm doing this show, and why don't you co-host?" And so I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll bring the funny, and you bring the food."
And it's awesome because
out.
we benefit when you guys have the food. We
Yeah.
get to
Oh yeah,
sample.
you got a
Yeah.
little sample of that
Oh.
penny pasta we made with
Dude.
shallot, balsamic vinaigrette shallot and smoked chicken and
goat cheese.
goat cheese, and
Man.
it had a
Fantastic.
lot of stuff in there. I was like, man, that was like my second favorite show. Yes.
Well,
That
do you
deserves
remember?
Verneric, our producer, he had a little taste, or should I say half the stuff we had in there.
Yes.
He's like, Richard, you can stay home. Richard's the other owner. It's like, Richard, you can stay home on Saturday. I'll do Saturday show so he can eat good.
He's smart. He's
Yeah,
smart.
he is, man. We chow down every week. Yeah, and that's a great show. We just finished our first season, and so we're gonna be rerunning all of those, so you can still watch all of our great shows. We have Cajun show, we have a seafood show, we have lots of great guests. Hadi Shatar, who's like a reality diva, has been on a couple shows. She was on for our finale just earlier today, and We had her on earlier as well, and so a lot of neat food, neat stuff, neat stories. So tune in. When you're tuning into La La Land, tune in, a little hour before or so and catch our show too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't going to be here next week? You guys are wrapped up for the first season?
Yeah, we're
You guys
wrapped up.
Reruns?
Yeah, we're going to do reruns. Yeah, we've got to do the hiatus thing. And
Cool.
Chef is in the process of getting a restaurant. And so that's taking a lot of time.
That takes up a lot of time. I used to work for with Ann Gentry, who is the founder of Real Food Daily, and I helped her open one of her restaurants. And it is just... I mean, it's amazing.
It's life consuming, yeah.
But it is life consuming.
Yeah, and this was part of the thing to do this show too, was to just have all these things, like she said, with the voiceovers, all these things kind of dovetail together, to do greater things, and like she said, the best runs that I've had in my career. It started off with something little that paid little, and then I got a bigger run, and then a bigger, and then a bigger, and then a network TV thing, and then a feature film thing, and they've all come from something small that kind of gets the ball rolling.
It's funny, the smallest decisions that you make really affect these big opportunities that you can get.
Yeah.
Not to scare everybody, but
Yeah.
But I'm just, I'm scrolling here on BrittPrentice.com, BRITT.
I haven't been on there.
Yeah,
must be good though.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. Can you tell us a little bit about this film with Frank Stallone that you're working on, Hitting on Destiny?
Oh yeah, Frank Stallone, Sly's brother.
Yeah.
That was a really neat little. I was actually assured that they made as a pilot. They want to get picked up, and as far as I understand, they're still shopping it. It's a really kind of a neat premise. Frank Stallone plays this character who he's basically like a fallen angel, so to speak, and he kind of his assignment is this guy who's the main character in the show. And the main character in the show, he's basically been leading a gangster life. He's been killing people and things like that. But he's not very good at it. So a lot of times he messes up his assignments, but he still kills people and stuff like that.
Nothing worse than a bad assassin.
I know.
Yeah,
seriously.
exactly.
I mean, if you're just gonna maim them, find something else to do.
Right. Guilty gangsters, no, it just doesn't work.
Not so much.
But anyway, he gets put on this watch that Frank Stallone's character kind of puts on him, and it's basically his 9 lives, but it's a lot more lives than that, but more or less, so to speak. And so he's dangerously down to his last 3 or 4 lives left before he gets put under, not up.
Uh-oh.
And so he's where I come in the pilot is I am like the mafia kingpin.
Shocking! I'm shocked at this guy.
That's right. I know.
I'm utterly shocked.
Says the guy in the blueprint.
You can't. Yeah, especially let me turn on my little New York accent.
Oh, fabulous!
But anyway, so I play the kingpin, and I hire this guy who's like a bad gangster to kill this one prostitute who owes me some money, and instead he basically takes her on a road trip. Instead. And so,
all right.
And it kind of semi falls for her, though it doesn't go that far into the pilot. But so that's basically the premise of it. So it's really kind of a cool premise, and it could be like a 24 gangster style where we keep on chasing him, we keep on missing him, and and his clock is ticking to the end, and then he does something like he saves somebody from dying, and then he gets a life back, and so there's a lot of inbred drama in many different ways into it. And it was a really neat project that I got put into.
Where can people find information on that?
You can find it on my website,
BrittPrentice.com.
Yeah, and you can also find it on. I don't know if they have a clip on YouTube yet because they were still shopping it.
But they do.
They do have one now. Okay, so
according to your website, they do.
Okay, well then, yeah. Okay, all right. All right. Then they put it up. And there's a couple pilots that they haven't, and I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
And, so that one they do have. So that's good. You can see it on YouTube. So just go to YouTube.com, look up "Hitting on Destiny," and do they have a Facebook page? Are you looking on there?
No, I just see your Facebook page, but it says an amazing and raucous video. That's not Hitting on Destiny, is it?
Amazing and raucous video?
Yes.
On my website?
Yes.
Is it right under Hitting on
Destiny? It's just above it.
Yeah, then that's probably it.
Maybe it's okay. But go to
I have to look on my website.
BrittPrentice.com and
I have so many things that I'm doing.
he's a busy guy. He's a busy guy.
But yeah, one project
And
I wanted
you're-
to say that I haven't yet put on the website because it's so white hot new that I haven't even put it on yet is, and it just aired last week, was I was in this new pilot premiere episode of this show called Alien Encounters. And the show it's on Biography Channel. And what it is they retell stories of people who truly say that they got abducted by aliens and went up to the planet and stuff like that.
Stop it.
No, start the madness. Yes.
Now tell
Yes.
her what part
And
you play.
I
Love this.
play one of the most famous ones ever chronicled. It was this writer named Whitley Schreiber, and he says he got abducted several times on to and they took him up, they beamed him up to the thing, and they do all these special effects on the show, and it's really cool how they do it. They levitate me off the bed and they lift me up into the spaceship and stuff like that. And this guy says that really all this happened to him, and he wrote a book, a best-selling book called Communion, and that became a movie with the
Yes!
same title with Christopher Walken.
Yes,
And
yes.
I'm
I remember
playing
this.
I'm playing that same writer, yeah. And
Nice.
so it's one of the most famous ever. They did a great job, and they had Whitley Schreiber on the show, testimonial of all this stuff, and wrapped around all my acting stuff that I did, and really, really neat. I have a clip on Facebook, like a 30-second clip of one of the really cool parts. So definitely go on Facebook. It's Britt Prentice. And
MC.entertainer.
yeah. Well, that's my page, but I think I put it. Did I put it on my page? I put it on my personal, which is just Britt Prentice, and then I also have MC Entertainer, and then I also have one for my acting page because I also host and I MC things like private parties, corporate events, weddings. I also do stuff like that too. So I try to stay busy, just like Tish over there. You got to stay busy doing whatever you can, doing hosting radio shows like you guys do, stuff like that. But but you can find it, the 30-second clip on there. I'm going to put on YouTube this week as well. It's a really neat spot where they like stick this needle in my head and I scream.
Sounds fun. That's the fun part about acting, the fun stuff you get to do.
Yeah, the best part of it was, of course, I put it on blast last week, and I have brothers scattered throughout the country, and one of my brothers, they have some kids, and my sister-in-law wrote me and said that they were smiling the whole show watching me, watching their uncle on television. I was like, oh, that's cute. You made my week there.
That's awesome.
Because sometimes it's so hard. You do all these great projects, and like Hitting on Destiny isn't on television yet. I had a lot
You're
of fun
so
doing that.
excited about it, and you have like, oh my gosh, this amazing experience, and then people like, oh, where can I see it?
Hey, you can't yet.
You can impress the kids though. You're doing a good job. You
Yeah.
can, if they were watching you smiling,
yeah.
you're
And
doing all right.
Yeah, and that show, like some of those reenactment shows, like they basically cut all of your work out, and
Yeah.
all you're doing is giving a couple
And
expressions.
going like this, like what?
Yeah, exactly. Now the
Aliens.
way, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, exactly. The way they filmed this one was they really put in almost all of the dialogue that I did, and so it was really actor friendly reenactment show, which was not non-existent up to this point.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got a chance to talk. I didn't know you weren't going to be here next week, so I'm glad we got a chance to
Yeah.
get you in here
Yeah,
and chat with
absolutely.
you.
I wouldn't have to make a trip down. It was great timing. Yes.
Woohoo.
Yes.
Perfection.
Oh, and your friend Pepper, like I
Yes.
was talking, I was like the Phantom in the room earlier in the show.
That's okay.
But we're both telling food stories for this wonderful lady named Peggy Sweeney McDonald, and she wrote a cool book. She's from New Orleans, and she wrote this book called Meanwhile at the Café du Monde ... And basically, Café du Monde is like the
Famous
oldest.
for its beignets.
Yeah,
and-
I think it's the first, restaurant in New Orleans or something like that. It's been around 150
I think it's
years.
the most the longest continuously running restaurant or something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it was something like that.
Was she on your show a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, she was on our
showing
show.
me her book.
Yeah, she was on our show, and then the chef went last month. He was she every month she has like a story thing, and the book is basically really neat food stories from like people that she knows, and some of them are quite famous, like politicians or actors, like the chef, people like that.
Yeah.
And he told his story last month, and then she asked me to be on the show this month, and we're doing it at it's a different place like every time. Last month it was at this place called South Restaurant in like West LA, Santa Monica, and they serve like soul food.
Nice.
This time it's going to be at Tom Bergen's Tavern, which everybody knows.
On Fairfax.
Yep. I believe it starts at like 7. I want to say 6 or 7, something like that. Check again. There's a link on my site for it, and I'm going to be telling a really cool food story. About
Excellent.
actually when I was in New Orleans doing a tour.
Oh,
so,
a tour of
actually it was an urban theater tour, which is like Tyler Perry does all those musicals and stuff like that, where he started. Well, it's his competition. The guy's name is J.D. Lawrence.
Oh, they
Yeah.
come through Columbia. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah,
so
we did
J.D.
Columbia.
Lawrence, oh yeah,
We did
Township
Columbia.
Auditorium. You
Yeah.
guys like rock it.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in one of his best shows called The Cleanup Woman, and
Don't know that one.
the stars were Thelma Hopkins from Family Matters,
Nice.
and Jack Hay. Everybody knows Jack Hay,
Ooh.
and Jack Hay.
Sandra.
Yeah, exactly. And Christopher Williams, who was like an 80s and early 90s like singing star.
Okay.
And I played like the bad white guy.
Oh, nice.
So when they cheer when you get your comeuppance at the end of the show, I knew I did my job right.
There you go.
But that was a great show, and we toured all around doing
Mm-hmm.
that. We played everywhere, just about. We played here at the Wilshire Ebell.
Oh.
Yeah, and we played Chicago in the house. We played the
Chicago.
Airy Crown,
Ooh.
big theater.
That's
theater.
on.
That's by the Soldier Field.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So we played there, and that was. Tours are always fun. Tours are just wonderful adventures and things like that. And
Stuff.
I
Good
got my
stuff.
stories.
It's the vaudeville life.
Yeah, it's modern vaudeville.
Yep.
Yes.
Any place else besides BrittPrentice.com that you want to plug real quick and let people know where to find you? Look you up on YouTube, IMDb.
Yeah, look up me on YouTube. You can either put in my name, or I have my I got a really dumb page, so I named it. I didn't name it Britt Prentice. I named it Breeze It. So like the word breeze with it at the end. But you can, if you look up my name, it'll come up. I have a bunch of clips there, a bunch of funny stuff on there, and
Or
then
find you on Facebook with a dumb page.
right on the dumb name page. Yeah, Facebook. I'm always on Facebook, YouTube, and my website. Has a whole bunch of clips, and also my music, which I actually started out. I majored in voice in college.
Nice.
At the
Where'd you go to school?
University of Miami. Go Canes.
Nice.
Go Canes. And so I released a CD, and it got great reviews. Like Vibe magazine reviewed it.
Check you out.
Yeah, and got me here today talking to you.
Oh,
you know,
nice. Yeah.
And so you can listen to that stuff on my website, and there's a lot of other information that you can just catch up with me and stuff like that. But I'm almost always on Facebook, pubbing stuff like the alien encounters. I've been pubbing this past week or so, and so try to stay with it. Twitter.
You're all over the place
I'm
on
trying.
social media.
I'm
I
trying to
see
be
this.
all over the place. I'm trying to be.
Britt
Feel like-
Prentice.
I'm never anywhere, but I'm always somewhere.
There you go.
BrittPrentice.com for information on Brit, and TishHicks.com for information on,
Actually, can you say the VO Dojo?
Oh, yeah.
VODojo.com.
Yeah, VODojo.com.
and that's the THEVODOJO.com. Awesome. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us.
Thank you. Man. This is fun. This is
Fun
fun.
stuff, yeah.
I want more theater talk.
Oh, what's going on next?
Oh, and you mentioned something. I'm sorry, real quick. I want to.
Yeah.
You talked about it on your first thing about that lady on the IMDb who sued IMDb for giving her age, and I believe you said it. You didn't think it was that big. I think it's a tremendous deal. And number one, they violated the
Basic
privacy laws. But basically, she signed up. She paid money to get on their IMDb Pro and forked up, I don't know how many, $20-$40 a month or whatever it is. And so to thank her for that, they posted privileged information that she did not post on her page, namely her birth date. Mm-hmm. She looks way younger than 40. She looks like she could play 30 easily, and so that's our age range of 25 to 35 in this industry. That's how they do the age ranges. They do like 25 to 35, and they do 35 to 45 and 45 to 55. And so
it's even more like 35 to 42. And then
Yeah.
you put
especially for ladies, and it is, I feel it as a male actor. Ladies, I mean, whenever anybody wants to get into show business, the first thing I say is, especially if they're female, I say, you know what, do it now.
Yeah.
Do it tomorrow if you really want to do it. Don't get that fashion degree where you just pissed off 4 years of your life, of your prime, from 18 to 22. No, you do it. Start doing it at 18. Do it at 16. They had a great special on HBO, as a matter of fact, where they did with kids. And the kids that were coming in from Colorado and Mississippi, and they're 13, they're done.
Yeah.
There's been kids here who were born and raised here and been doing it since they were 3.
Here's the problem I had
Right?
with it. Here's the problem I had with it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Our kids
Yeah.
do it. Tish and I, our kids do it.
Here's the problem. She was asking for $5 million.
Yeah, and-
That's too much. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Are you
ask,
kidding me?
You ask for 5
Yeah.
because you hope to get 500,000.
Yeah,
That's
you
too
ask.
much.
You ask for
That's
more.
what it
You ask
is.
for more to settle for
She
whatever.
didn't lose $500,000 worth of work. I'm
Well,
sorry.
she also
She
didn't want
lost $50,000 at the most.
She also didn't want to settle. And the thing is, like we were talking about, before on the break, is that it's hard to quantify future earnings unless you were like maimed, unless she lost her voice or lost an eye or lost a leg or something crazy like that.
And I know
it's
a
hard
guy
to
who had
quantify that.
who had traumatic dental work and lost a tour and some other stuff. But anyway,
Hey, Jennifer Grey.
I
Jennifer
know.
Grey lost her career when she got her nose fixed.
that's true.
Nobody even
made
knows
her
who she is anymore.
That was her choice. She
Yeah,
chose.
she got famous, she got rich, she fixed her nose, she lost her career.
I want to keep talking about this, but we're getting wrapped up here. We have to get off the air.
I hear you.
Also, Backstage made an announcement. Backstage West, they are no longer going to be doing theater reviews. They actually didn't make an official announcement, but that's the story that Colin Mitchell at Bitter Lemons broke, and they haven't responded to deny it, so it seems to be true.
Now, is that both or just West?
Backstage West and East.
But wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Both. As of next week, so pretty unfortunate news. We're going to get into a little bit of that, but maybe we'll talk about that a little bit next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a little more
Wow, that's a
confirmed
big
information.
I'm trying to get the editors on the show to talk about it on air. They don't have a comment so far, but maybe by next
Maybe.
week. Yeah,
We'll
we'll
see.
see.
Who
And
do
next
we have
week,
next week? Yeah, who's up?
we have Pepper J, as a matter of fact.
Pepper J.
Yes.
Yes.
Pepper J, she is the producer of about 20 different shows on the Actors Entertainment Network, Actors Radio Network, including ours.
Wonderful.
We are syndicated through them. And she's going to be on to talk with us about everything that she is working on right now.
Excellent.
Until then.
All right. Whew.
Until then.
That's Brett
See your
Chapin.
show.
There's
See
the
your
music.
show, the Spelling Bee.
Spelling bee.
Make sure you go see her next few weeks, right?
Yep,
Till
till
May
the 12th.
12th. May 12th. Go see it. Dorothy.
And then 2 weeks after that, see Rent.
Yes.
Yes. See Rent.
TheRentProject.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. You can send us an email at lalalandtalk@gmail.com. You can reach us through telepathy or whatever. Anything else, Dorothy
Chanting.
Dillingham Blue?
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for being here,
So
guys.
much fun.
Thank you so much.
That's Dorothy Dillingham Blue.
And there's Brett Chapin.
And this is La La Land on LA Talk Live. We'll see you at the top.